Hey guys,
Good afternoon, Coach. Thanks again for joining us.
thank you. I'm so happy to be here right now. Thank you.
For everyone at this time, we're joined by the head coach of the Troy Trojans, Chanda Rigby. Coach, if you could start with a brief opening statement, and then we'll go to questions.
I think Tiyah said it best. It's hard to play somebody 5 times, especially the style that we play. I mean, they really were used to our pace. We only got 4 fast break points. That's got to be a record for us this year. They did a great job of getting back and slowing us up. They did a lot of things to slow us up, and that was very effective. So we got off less than 75 shots, and we strived to shoot 100 shots a game. So that affected us, the pace, the fact that they were kind of pulling us a little bit and slowing things down in a lot of ways. Again, Pre got off on us in the first half, and that's what great players do in championship tournaments to a certain extent. But it was Coach Courtney Simmons Scout, and she had prepared us to go the best you can in the hotel room, right? Because we didn't have practice in between. She prepared us to go over every screen to try to slow her down. And we did not do a good job of that in the first half. So when we got in there at halftime, Coach C talked it over with them. I told him I wanted to give you the third quarter to try to stop her that way, to follow the game plan. And then if that didn't work, we would start trying to double team her, which is not really what we do, but we would have tried that in the fourth quarter, but we didn't need to. We really started following the game plan and going over screens, and that helped slow their best scorer down.
Thank you very much, Coach. And now we can go to questions. And again, for the media, please use the direct message function to type your questions into the chat. This following up, you answered this a little bit, and we also asked Tiyah, but they had some success slowing down your offense every time they've played you this year. Was there anything specific that they did that does that?
Well, they all run back, and they all run back and sprint back, and which should make our rebounding a lot better. That should help with rebounding, but it didn't tonight. That would be, when I settle down and think about it, that's going to be the main thing that I regret about this game is they out-rebounded us by 1 rebound. And again, we lead the nation rebound, but when you play a team that many times and they get used to you and you have a good coach like Angel Elkerson, they're not just going to let you keep doing the same thing to them over and over. And so I'm thankful we were able to weather the storm against that team who was a great team, great coaching with all heart. It was two all heart teams out there putting it on the line. So we're thankful to get out of it with a win.
You talked about Pre Stanley as being a great player and stepping up in a big game. Talk about your own player, Alexis Dye, stepping up once again in a big game.
Yeah. So, she is so even keel and quiet, a quiet leader, and she doesn't get high or she doesn't get low. But I have seen in this tournament her kind of stepping it into another gear, and at times like hustling harder or going to meet the passes, or like she understands championship tournaments, and she is doing that for us in the game. And again, if it weren't for such a great effort by this team, she would have probably had a monster night, like she had a monster night last night with 34 points and 18 rebounds or something. But I thought App State did a good job of managing her and containing her, and but she still got her double-double, right? She's still a great player. She's still probably maybe the best I've coached.
How much did the early fouls affect Karenga?
A lot. That affected us tremendously. In fact, we got so many fouls early. I think four charges in the beginning and all, and so much that we had to. Well, first of all, you had to substitute early, which we weren't planning on that early, substituting that many players. But also, it changed the game in that it really got to a point at the end of the half that I was telling the players I would rather them shoot open, just let them shoot open, than foul, because we were in that bad of shape. And Felma's being on the bench, I mean, it's huge, because not only is she a great athlete, she's a warrior, especially in these championship situations. She turns up to her urgency mode is not just at the end of the game when we need her, it's the whole game. So if she's sitting on the bench in the first half, that's a big part of our team.
Dye had another double-double. What do you attribute that to? How does she continue to put up these double-doubles?
She's amazing. I mean, she'll tell you that her talent is a gift. I mean, we all have gifts at different things. She has found hers, that she's special. She makes it look easy. And I mean, she works hard. Don't get me wrong. She works hard. She's put her heart and soul into basketball for her life, but let's face it, she's very gifted. She's got a timing and a knack to get to the goal for rebounding. unlike I've seen before in a female basketball player. I mean, she just really got, I would say her athleticism coupled with her timing is a gift, and it makes her really good.
Coming into this tournament with so much success in the regular season as the tournament's top seed, what did you tell your team to get them ready for these tight games?
We just remind them that, this is what we begin with the end in mind. Our very first day we come together as a brand new team in the new year. We just talk about what it would take to get to the game that we're going to get to play tomorrow. We're so blessed to be in it. And I mean, from the very first day that we're meeting each other as a new team, that's basically, that's what we start with, is getting here, and everything along the way, the losses along the way, the ugly games that we played along the way. We tried not to lose. We learned, because we're trying to get to where we're blessed to be able to get tomorrow. And so really, we don't change anything. We're not going to change anything and make any big different game plans or anything like that. We're just going to be mindful that it's the tournament's about 5 days long usually, and the other 360 we're working and hoping and praying and being anxious for this moment. So now we're very blessed to be here, and it's just time to do what we've been training for all year.
We have time for 2 more questions. What do you do between now and tomorrow afternoon to get your team ready for the championship?
They're in the locker room hydrating and stretching right now, and they'll go back to the hotel and eat, because the way the times are, they go long periods of time without eating, the game being 11 in the morning. And then they'll put the game up that's about to be played. We'll play the winner of it, and they'll put that up and watch it. And my coaches and I will stay here and live scout it. And then we'll come together tonight and go through the game plan once we know who we're playing, and make sure everybody understands their assignments, and hydrate and get some nutrition in us, and get to bed and dream that we can out rebound folks and run. Our shots go in, we get calls, in our favor, and we can get a championship.
And the final question, do you have any preference on who you might play tomorrow in the final?
Well, after this game, I'm looking forward to playing to a team that we haven't played 4 times, because it could be our advantage. I'm sure they will have advantages too, but it could be an advantage that we maybe both of these teams, whoever wins, we haven't played them this year, so they haven't had to adjust to the pace of our game that we try to be special with. So they're both great unbelievably great coaches and great teams, but I don't know if on that side of the bracket they had the style of play that we've played everybody 4 times on our side now. So there are going to be things that we're not used to about them, but we're looking forward to playing somebody new, whoever it is.
Thank you very much for your time, Coach. Please head on back to the locker room and get yourself ready as well.
Thank you, and go Trojans. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, once again, thank you very much. And for the media, we're now joined by our representative from the Troy Trojans, number 14, Tiyah Johnson. For all questions, please use the direct message function to type your questions into the chat, and we'll do our best to get to all of the questions. Yeah, our first question is, that game sure looked intense. How tough was it out on the court?
It was very tough. We know we're going to get everybody best game, so we just got to come out and play hard every time.
And the follow-up question actually relates to that. Being the number 1 seed, do you feel like the other teams are really giving everything they have to try to upset you?
Yes, very much.
You've played App State 5 times now, and they've done a pretty good job of slowing down your offense every time. What do they do differently than other teams?
Well, it's just hard playing the team 5 times. They pretty much know our sets and know what we do, so we just got to go out there and just keep running and pushing the ball and try to get 120.
You guys did a much better job defensively in the second half, stopping Stanley. Was there anything specific that you guys did differently to slow her down?
No, we just had to follow the game plan. Once we followed the game plan, the ball fell in our hands.
And we have one more question for you. You've now played 2 very competitive games in this tournament. Do you think that can be a good thing to get you ready for a championship game?
Yes, it could. We just got to come out strong, no let-ups, and finish all 4 quarters.
Thank you very much for the time. You can head on back to the locker room now and get ready for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Great job, Tiyah.
Good afternoon, Pri. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I know it's a tough time. You had an outstanding game tonight. We're going to go ahead with a few questions from the media for you. Our first question is going to be on your team's final possession of the game. You had the ball at the top of the key, but was the goal to just make something happen when you actually found Porter for a wide open shot?
Yes, sir. That was the goal. She hit the 3 last possession, so she had the hot hand, and I wanted to penetrate and try to get it to her again.
In the first half, your team struggled definitely to get started. Nobody's shots were falling. You took over the game. Was that anything that coach said to you that we need you now, or did you do that on your own?
Really just the team. We all just kept going. Our biggest thing is just to fight, continue to fight. And it just happened to start falling for me.
Just a couple more questions. You finished with 29 points and 14 rebounds. You obviously left it all out there on the court. What was your mentality heading into the game today?
Just playing for the team. Same mentality all the time. Playing for one another. And, we're all on the same mission. And that's just taking it a game at a time and fighting for one another every time we're on the floor together.
It was your third game in 3 days, and Troy is very physical, a very good defensive team. Did fatigue become an issue at any point today?
Definitely, but having my teammates and my coaches helping me push through, and just knowing that we're all on the floor with the same mission and goal, fighting for one another, that helped me get through.
And our final question, despite falling short today, how proud are you of your team in the fight you guys showed today against the number 1 seed in the conference?
I'm very proud. It's such an honor to just play with everyone on the team that's here. This is such a good group. The coaching staff, it's been an honor, and it's just been an honor.
Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you.
Oh, boy. Sorry about that. It's pretty hard to follow.
Thank you very much for taking the time, though, Coach. If you could start with a brief opening statement, and then we can go to questions.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our group in terms of the game plan and what we set out to do. And we wanted to win the rebounding. We wanted to keep them to 66 points. We wanted to keep them out of the paint. And I feel like our team fought until the end, and we were in a position with 1 possession to potentially go to overtime. So there's not really much more you can ask. I thought we left it all out there.
We just had Pri here, and thank you very much for having her come out. That says a lot about her that she did come out and talk. She had 29 points, 14 rebounds, left it all out there on the court. Can you talk about her performance today against the number 1 seed in the tournament?
In the first half, she had us on her back, and I know there was fatigue, but she never let it be an excuse. And you don't see the stuff, behind the scenes. You see her scoring and making plays, but you don't see her in the huddles. And it's like, even we were down 8 at that 4-minute timeout, I was like, believe guys, we can do this. And when she is that way, it just bleeds into our team. So, you just can't, there's so much intangibles. Like, she's going to be known for her scoring, but there's just so many intangibles to that kid. And hopefully you just saw it moments ago with her post game.
Was your final possession, the final possession that led to Porter's wide open shot, was that designed for Pri, just to get the ball to Pri and let her make something happen?
When they had the ball and we said, if we get a stop, we're not going to call a timeout. So only had 1 left. Because we knew that if we could get them in transition, we could get an open shot. We knew maybe sideline out of bounds, they were going to double Pri. So Pri got it. We told them to run the action that we call quick, rise KK, because she had just hit one. We weren't stellar tonight from the 3, but she had just hit one. And so they executed the play. It was a little bit
frazzled in the beginning, but they executed it perfect. And KK shot went like in and out. And then Lainey Gosnell went to the boards hard, called the timeout. I thought I got it with like 3 seconds, but it is what it is. And then the last play, we knew they were going to double maybe KK steps in a little bit closer to the 3. We got a better look. But still, 1 possession.
Can you talk about the defensive effort of the team throughout the game, but also early to get you back into the game after the early deficit?
Yeah, I mean, we talked yesterday about just defense being our anchor. And when they came out on fire, we know playing Troy, I mean, we got to play them 5 times this year. Lucky us, right? Golly. You get to play somebody 5 times, you pretty much know the rhythm, you know the routine, you know the ups and downs in the game of runs. And so, they came out on fire. We knew we had to get stops. And I mean, in the 4th quarter, our defense, to hold Troy to 4 points in the 4th quarter. I think that's probably the hardest thing as a coach to swallow, is that we were able to get the stops, but both teams, I thought, in the 4th quarter were really fighting, for one more day, and they just, outlasted us 1 possession.
What's your recommendation to future teams trying to contain Alexis Dye?
I don't really have one. I do have one. Try to get her in foul trouble on the bench. And that was my game plan tonight. And we didn't do that either. We tried, but God, she's good. She's been really good, really solid. The way she can stroke the ball from mid-range is just, it's been really special to watch, really special to play against. And then her ability to offensive rebound, you just can never lose sight of her.
I think fatigue may have been a factor for a lot of your players, but did Gosnell get a little worn down battling so much inside?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head when you asked they're physical. And so we're on game 3 and they're on game 2. And, I'm not going to make an excuse, but I think Lainey tried to battle the best she could. And we kind of rode those guys out. I didn't play the bench much. They were my seniors and I was gone with them. But you could say fatigue, but that's just an excuse.
And one final question, it was the same thing that was asked of Apri. Despite falling short today, how proud are you of your team and the fight that they showed today?
Oh, so proud. I mean, I think we won, I don't know, 7 of our last 8 or so. I mean, this team really, if this isn't COVID, I'm probably not crying because it's not over. And maybe we have a chance to go to a postseason, but it is what it is.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time tonight, Coach, and congratulations on your season.
Thank you.